Let's recap the playoffs ahead of the 2024 Stanley Cup Final. Pete.
The Leafs opened the playoffs, and nobody could explain why William Nylander was missing.
The Dallas Stars learned about AI leading to the worst playoff theme of all time.
Connor Hellebuck and Alexander Georgiev had a first-round suck-off.
Pete Sauer bullied the Dallas Stars, so they stopped doing that AI thing.
The Bruins finally implemented a playoff goalie rotation for literally the shortest amount of time possible.
Sergei Bobrovsky made a save.
Out in front, Bobrovsky!
Brad Marchand broke Sheldon Keefe's brain.
After everyone said they'd get swept in the first round, the Washington Capitals got swept in the first round.
And Alex Ovechkin had 0 points. That guy sucks.
The Golden Knights and Stars played for the Stanley Cup in the first round. The Stars won, which the Golden Knights confirmed in kind of weird fashion.
The most important thing to have in the playoffs is goaltending, which is why the Winnipeg Jets, who have the best goaltender, immediately got lit up and lost in 5 games.
The Bruins pushed the Leafs to the brink, and the Leafs pushed their rating to PG-13 on the bench because they were swearing at each other.
Jeremy Swayman became the best goaltender ever.
PK Subban may or may not have talked about his penis on television.
The New York Islanders fell in love with giving up a bunch of goals in a row to the Carolina Hurricanes, and it cost them their season, and the Hurricanes told them to go cry about it.
Cody Ceci did something cool.
Somebody was horny at the Kings game.
Thatcher Demko got hurt, leading to Casey DeSmith's time in net for the Canucks.
Casey DeSmith got hurt, which led to Archer Shilov's time in net for the Canucks.
The Panthers proved capable of eliminating the Lightning. ESPN proved incapable of talking about anything but Steven Stamkos.
Taylor Lewan's kid won Conn Smythe in the first round.
Shaquille O'Neal showed up on the TNT set, and then Shaquille O'Neal showed up on the TNT set, and then he would not stop showing up on the TNT set.
The Leafs continued on in the playoffs, and nobody could explain Auston Matthews' sudden absence.
The Maple Leafs came back against the Bruins in an effort to prove that Boston's the biggest choker. And then David Pastrnak, the Leafs choked in that series.
Pastrnak is there! He scores!
The LA Kings proved they are addicted to losing to the Oilers.
PK Subban denied the talking about the penis on TV allegations.
The Canucks and Predators blocked 1 billion shots until only one of them was left alive, and it was the Vancouver Canucks.
The What a Pro Wants commercial made a lot of us die.
What a pro wants, what a pro needs.
We saw an unprecedented amount of too many men penalties.
Not for like for the Bruins.
The Sharks won the #1 overall pick in the most boring draft lottery ever.
The Maple Leafs told Sheldon Keefe to hit the road, and he said, "I'll hit the beach instead."
Zach Hyman and Shaq sparked the spring's biggest romance.
The Panthers rattled and confused the Bruins to the point that David Pastrnak fought Matthew Tkachuk. Respect to David Pastrnak. He lost.
The New York Rangers kept winning games in the most dramatic way possible, leading them to be dubbed the annual Team of Destiny.
The Dallas Stars proved that behind every great coach stands a woman with boobs.
Sam Bennett knocked out Brad Marchand with a sneaky rabbit punch, and nobody felt bad for Brad Marchand.
Puck don't lie, though, because then Sam Bennett scored a goal that shouldn't have been allowed, and everyone knew it shouldn't have been allowed, and it was allowed.
Archer Shilovs became the best goaltender ever.
The haters celebrated as Stuart Skinner lost his job.
Carson Soucy went up to Connor McDavid and said, "Off with your head."
Dance till you're dead. Brad Marchand said everyone is out there trying to hurt each other, making him an honest hero that his detractors were very upset to respect.
This guy tried to be as handsome as Jared Bednar, and it didn't work.
The Dallas boobs lady wasn't alone. There was a boobs copycat, and of course, the guy who bangs on the glass. And people didn't really like him.
Val Nichushkin was suspended for violating the league's player assistance program, and the wheels started to fall off in Colorado.
Igor Shesterkin became the best goalie ever.
Elias Pettersson sucked until he was forced to give one of the most depressing press conferences ever.
Jacob Trouba attempted murder.
Jordan Martinook became the best goaltender ever.
Paul Maurice and Jim Montgomery started acting awfully silly.
Chris Kreider eliminated the Carolina Hurricanes, leading them to cry about it, and then they showed a kid in the crowd and he was crying.
The Panthers eliminated the Bruins, due in part to Gus Forsling being the greatest player in the history of hockey.
The Stars finally put the Colorado Avalanche out of their misery.
The Canucks caught a horrible break when Brock Besser was ruled out due to blood clotting.
With Stuart Skinner back at the helm, the Oilers snuck past the Vancouver Canucks in a 7-game series that nobody really saw coming. And speaking of things nobody saw coming, Cody Ceci was a hero in Game 7.
Of all people to make it 1-0!
Philip Hronik was not injured, but he was pissy.
Well, what do you want me to say?
The Rangers and Panthers met in the Eastern Conference Final, which is really confusing because the Rangers anthem singer looks a lot like the Panthers play-by-play guy.
Charles Barkley and Leon Draisaitl sparked the spring's biggest romance.
Hockey was saved by the Stanley Pups.
We got a conference final matchup featuring two best friends, Artemi Panarin and Sergei Bobrovsky.
Rangers fans and media answered the age-old question, how can we make everything about Matt Rempe?
Matt Rempe played.
Matt Rempe played more than he thought he would play.
Matt Rempe played more than he thought he would play, and then he said, Jiminy Crickets.
Jiminy
cricket, so let's go. And then, yeah.
Isn't hockey better with Matt Rempe in it? There were some thrilling reactions to overtime game winners.
I stand by it. Canucks kicking ass.
This stream is over.
Don Waddell complimented Seth Jarvis's testicles and then immediately left for Columbus.
Connor McDavid proved himself to be a playoff choker, and 1 period later proved himself to be the most clutch player in NHL history.
The Rangers and Panthers just kept going to overtime.
Coaches used their press conference to answer questions about their respective series, but Paul Maurice used his to workshop some material.
Fuck me, am I good at that? You see how I did that?
Ruppe Hintz returned to the Dallas Stars lineup, and Jason Robertson got himself a hat trick.
Jacob Trouba attempted murder again.
Darnell Nurse saved a goal with his butt and then scored a goal with his butt, but it was on the wrong net, damn it.
Jake Ottinger's stick played better against the Oilers than Jake Ottinger did.
The Panthers were smothering the Rangers until they forced themselves to score on themselves.
Chris Kreider took Matthew Tkachuk's mouth guard.
A fascinating trend hit the NHL. That trend? Teams going an hour without shots on net.
Jacob Trouba tried to kill a bunch of guys, the Rangers, and it worked.
Corey Perry became a second liner, Philip Broberg became an NHL player, and Chris Knobloch became a genius.
An Oilers fan used her boobs to make hockey the most popular sport in North America. You go, girl.
The Panthers won the Eastern Conference, and they said, we're not touching that trophy this time.
And the Oilers reached the Stanley Cup Final while Connor McDavid reached new levels of uncomfortable.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. This has been Connor McDavid.
And that's the story of the 2024 Stanley Cup playoffs. Now, it's the Stanley Cup Final.
We all silly like the mayor.